What's poppin' YouTube? This is Clone here again with some more Transformers Zero Hour Heat 1 spoilers. We got some real awesome stuff here if you're a fan of Decepticons, which I'm sure a good portion of you are. We got some awesome new tools for the Decepticons. But before we get to that, let's first take a look at some new and awesome battle cards. First, we've got Acid Bomb. This is an interesting one. Combiners are all the rage right now. Menasor is currently, we would consider Menasor the #1 deck. He's the kingpin. Some other combiners are also making waves in the meta, like Sky Shadow and so forth. So Acid Bomb here does 1 damage to up to 2 different enemies with 7 or less stars. Combiners are gonna hate you. This will bring Sky Shadow down a peg, and some other and maybe some other like heavy, high, like widened teams like Insecticons and whatnot are not gonna like Acid Bomb. And in the middle here, we've got probably the card I am most excited and so happy to reveal. This is Malicious Mob. Based on the amount of playtesting we've done, this card is like a staple. You're gonna be playing this card in a lot of decks. And I'm so happy how it turned out. Malicious Mob, it's a secret. When revealed, you reveal it when one of your characters defends. When it's revealed, you flip one of your tanks to bot to another mode. So we got Quake here to represent that. One of your melee characters gets tough 1 until end of turn. So we got Stranglehold to represent the melee. And one of your range characters gets +1 defense. Of course, that's Crankcase. This card is becoming a staple in almost all my decks that aren't pure orange aggro with 3 colors. You flip this on Master Metallicato. It's so good. I love this card. And it's kind of like the opposite of Wedge Formation. And you got them all kind of like charging into battle. Love this card.
Next up, we have G2 Tachyon Repeater. This is a weapon, and it's a black ranged, green range. So and only can be put on ranged characters. And it has Justice +1 attack. If you're not familiar, Justice is a special 0-hour mechanic, and Justice only triggers when there's a character in your opponent's KO'd area, not yours, your opponent's. The key thing here is that Justice is like you're getting justice, you've killed them, justice in the death. So it gets more powerful, and it kind of slows the card down a bit before things scale and get absurd. And it's a nice black weapon. Black is going to be if you've noticed, black is a huge theme of Heat 1. So that's where Tachyon Repeater has a nice, good, like, not say pack filler, but kind of just a nice, easy way to understand how the sheer amount of black, it's a good black support card for what we've got. And those are our 3 battle cards we've spoiled. The one I'm probably the most excited for is Malicious Mob. That card is so much fun. And the other 2 are great too. I can see those being great. Now we're going to move on to the characters. First character we're going to spoil here is Octopunch, the Deep Sea Destroyer. He is a 6-star Decepticon, 592 in boat mode. Yes, he's a boat. Don't forget the boats. And then in bot mode, he's a specialist melee with 493, whopping 3 armor. On a 6-star, he's a little underpowered with the health, but his armor and buffed up stats make it way more than that. This dude's going to be awesome as a sidekick in your control-based decks, especially in control decks. In a control mirror, that's where Octopunch shines, like against Jazz or some of those other control decks that kind of just sit there in alt mode. Octopunch is going to punish you for being in alt mode because he has Pierce 2 when attacking tapped characters in alt mode. And then his boat mode, when you flip to boat mode, you scrap the top card of your deck. If it was a blue card, you add it to your hand. So this is going to help out some engines of blue decks. Octopunch is going to be awesome in Shockwave and Overlord and some other cool dudes. You're going to love your Octopunch. And then we've got a Pretender. This is another new mechanic. There's only 1 Pretender in Heat 1, and you're looking at him here, but there may be more in the future. Wink, wink. So what the Pretender mechanic does is they start in alt mode, and if a Pretender would be KO'd, you instead flip it to bot mode and repair 2 damage from it. So what you do here is you keep him in alt mode so you never have to flip him, kind of like Fangry. And this is Stranglehold, the bare knuckle brawler. So if you don't remember the Pretenders, they were like a late 80s, early 90s thing. And what they were just a shell, and inside it was a little bot. So you crack the shell, and out pops the little bot. This is a fun mechanic to play with. So what he does, his ability, when this takes non-attack damage from your own orange cards, and you control a Decepticon leader in bot mode, you do 1 damage to an enemy. Like, he takes non-attack damage from one of your own cards, and he gets angry and does some damage to someone else. This dude is the perfect partner for Bludgeon. We revealed Bludgeon a couple days ago. And you've got one more character that's going to be working out with Bludgeon. And of course, when Stranglehold dies, he flips to this mode. So when you flip to this mode, he can't flip back. And when you flip to this mode, he loses all the upgrades on him because he's a bare knuckle brawler. He's got no weapons. And he's kind of like a headmaster or Titan Master. This little guy pops out, so he'd be a 1-2-1 because he has 10 health left. He has 10 damage on him because he repair 2. And out he problem is that he's got a better ability than most Titan Masters. Because when he flips, if he's tapped, he remains tapped. So that's the problem with Stranglehold. But he's a good sidekick for a lot of aggro Decepticon decks, especially ones that use a leader, like Bludgeon. And lastly, let's take a look at our good friend Blitzwing. Blitzwing is awesome. He is one of my favorite Decepticon characters, and the Blitzwing we got in the official WotC version era of the game sucked. That Blitzwing was... oh, he was so bad. 11 stars and 13 health. Yuck. That Blitzwing sucked. So we at 0 Hour did the character better justice. Ironic. And this dude, he's 6 stars, 2, 10, 3 in tank mode, and 4, 10, 2 in jet mode. In tank mode, he has, after this defends, and you flipped at least 1 orange and 1 black, you flip him to bot mode. So the idea with Blitzwing is you send him in first, and then he'll flip to bot mode, because you're going to be playing him with Bludgeon, assumably. You can play him with other people, but this dude, he's meant to go with Bludgeon, and he's the truculent fighter. So he's got the justice mechanic, because if you read the Generation 2 comics, the Decepticons like Blitzwing and his friends were all pissed because G-Axis and his buddies killed a whole bunch of Decepticons. So they're all angry, and that's the flavor here. And his jet mode... oh, I probably should read what the justice actually does. When this battles and you flip at least 1 black and 1 orange, you do 1 damage to the enemy you're battling with. So that's in both attack and defense. So it's doing more burn damage, which will trigger Bludgeon and trigger some... well, it won't trigger anything else, but it'll mostly trigger Bludgeon. So he's a great little guy to go with Bludgeon. He's got 10 health, which is perfectly acceptable for a 6-star in this day and age. Most 6 stars should have around 11-ish health. So he's got 1 less for a bit more attack. He's pushed stats as a rare. You'd expect that. And of course, the Justice, the ability can only be activated if there's at least 1 character in your opponent's KO area. And the Jet mode, as I was saying, when this attacks and you flip at least 1 black and 1 orange, flip this to bot mode and move 1 damage from this to the defender. So that's a little bit of a combo. If you have the Justice, he'll flip, you move 1 damage, and then you'll flip to bot mode, and then this will trigger so you do 1 more damage. It's like a 1-2 punch, and it is awesome. So that's all we have to show for today. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in anything you've seen or interested in Transformers in general, there's a link to our Transformers 0 Hour Discord in the link in the description below. I would love to have you on. We're doing casual, competitive play, and tournaments all the time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, and stay tuned for more spoilers. Peace.